Ladies and gentlemen, when most people hear the word success, their minds immediately turn to images of money, power, and recognition. They think of titles, trophies, and possessions that can be displayed for the world to see. While these things may bring temporary satisfaction, they are not the true measure of success, especially not the kind that lasts forever. Lasting success cannot be stored in a bank account or locked away in a safe. It is built on values and principles that stand the test of time. True success begins with the understanding that life is not just about what you earn, but about who you become. You can accumulate wealth and still be empty inside. You can hold a high position and still have no peace in your heart. But when your success is built on integrity, kindness, and a commitment to doing what is right, you create something that cannot be taken away from you. This kind of success follows you wherever you go, and it leaves a legacy that outlives your time on this earth. It is important to recognize that the world's definition of success is often shallow. It measures achievement by comparison, by who has more, who earns more, or who stands in the spotlight. But such measures are fragile. They depend on circumstances that can change overnight. A market crash, a health crisis, or a shift in public opinion can strip away the symbols of worldly success in an instant. If your entire sense of worth is tied to these things, then your confidence will crumble when they are gone. That is why lasting success must be rooted in something deeper, something that no crisis can touch. To define true success, you must look beyond material gain. It is found in the relationships you nurture, in the honesty of your actions, and in the consistency of your character. It is found in the respect you earn, not because of your status, but because of your sincerity. It is in the way people feel safe trusting you, knowing your word can be counted on. This kind of success does not fade with time. It grows stronger as your reputation and influence are shaped by years of living with honor. True success also involves contributing to something greater than yourself. If all your achievements end with you, then they will fade when you do. But when you use your skills, your resources, and your position to serve others, your impact extends far beyond your own lifetime. You can measure the depth of your success by the number of lives you touch and the positive changes you inspire. That is the difference between success that dies with you and success that lives on long after you are gone. Another critical element in defining lasting success is balance. A person may excel in their career, but fail in their relationships. Or they may gain influence, but lose their health along the way. True success is not about winning in one area while sacrificing all others. It is about aligning your personal, professional, emotional, and spiritual life so that they strengthen each other. Without balance, success will always feel incomplete, like a table standing on one leg. And perhaps most importantly, true success is grounded in peace of mind. You can have all the achievements in the world, but if you lie awake at night with guilt or regret, then your success is not truly success. Peace comes from knowing that you achieved your goals without compromising your integrity. It comes from being able to look back at your journey and be proud not only of where you arrived, but of how you got there. Ladies and gentlemen, success that lasts forever is not a trophy you place on a shelf. It is a life lived in such a way that your influence, your kindness, and your example continue to shine long after you are gone. It is measured not in the applause you receive in your lifetime, but in the seeds you plant that bear fruit for generations. If you seek this kind of success, you will find that it is not about chasing what the world calls great, but about building something that time, circumstance, and even death cannot destroy. True success is not merely a matter of numbers in a bank account, plaques on a wall, or the applause of a crowd. It is a matter of the heart and mind working in harmony toward a purpose that transcends the self. Knowledge and skills are valuable, yes, but they alone do not guarantee a life of meaning. The core of lasting success lies in character, the inner strength to remain honest when it is tempting to deceive, to stay humble when you are praised, and to persevere when the path grows steep. Education, in this sense, is more than academic achievement. It is the cultivation of wisdom, self-control, and empathy. It is the ability to use what you have learned not just for personal advancement, but to improve the world around you. The greatest leaders, thinkers, and innovators in history were not remembered solely for their talents, but for their ability to use those talents in ways that inspired, uplifted, and benefited others. When we commit to lifelong learning, we open the door to growth that never ceases. Lifelong learning is not about collecting degrees or certificates. It is about a constant curiosity that keeps the mind sharp and adaptable. The world is in a state of continuous change, and those who refuse to learn are quickly left behind. A farmer who learns new agricultural techniques can feed more people. A doctor who studies emerging treatments can save more lives. A teacher who evolves with new methods can ignite more minds. The lesson here is clear. The pursuit of knowledge should be relentless, but its purpose should always be anchored in making a positive impact. Moreover, true learning shapes not only our professional lives, but also our personal relationships. It teaches us how to listen before we speak, how to understand perspectives different from our own, and how to respond with patience rather than haste. A person who is educated in the art of compassion and empathy wields a power far greater than the one who simply knows facts. This is because facts can inform, but compassion transforms. It changes the atmosphere in a home, strengthens the bonds of friendship, and builds trust in communities. We must also understand that discipline is the companion of education. Without discipline, even the most intelligent mind can falter. Discipline trains us to show up when we do not feel like it, to focus when distractions call, and to finish what we start even when the excitement fades. It is through discipline that dreams transition from abstract visions to tangible realities. The athlete trains before dawn not because it is easy, but because the goal is worth the discomfort. The student studies late into the night not for instant gratification, but for the promise of a better future. Discipline, combined with a heart for learning, is the foundation on which lasting achievement stands. Yet, in the midst of all this striving, it is important to pause and reflect on the motives that drive us. Success that lasts forever is built on motives that are pure and selfless. If we chase knowledge and discipline solely to outshine others or inflate our ego, we will find the reward fleeting. But if our pursuit is fueled by a desire to serve, to contribute, and to leave the world better than we found it. The reward will outlast us. The impact will ripple through generations, as one life touched leads to another inspired, and so forth. Finally, in the journey toward meaningful success, we must remember that setbacks are not signs of failure, but invitations to grow. Every disappointment is an opportunity to refine our approach, strengthen our resolve, and deepen our understanding. The truly educated person is not one who never falls, but one who knows how to rise with greater wisdom. Every great accomplishment carries within it a history of trial and error, of lessons learned in the quiet moments when no one was watching. By embracing both triumphs and failures as teachers, we set ourselves on a path where success is not a fleeting event, but a continuous, enriching journey. True success is measured not by the applause we receive, but by the good we leave behind. While wealth, titles, and possessions may appear to signify achievement, they are temporary markers that fade with time. The truest legacy is the invisible thread we weave into the lives of others through kindness, mentorship, integrity, and generosity. When we live in such a way that our presence makes the world better, even in small ways, we create ripples that continue long after we are gone. Think about the teacher who inspires a student to dream beyond their limitations, the parent who instills values of honesty and hard work, or the leader who uses their position to serve rather than dominate. These individuals may not always receive public recognition, but their influence often changes the course of countless lives. To build this kind of legacy, we must first shift our focus from what we can gain to what we can give. It is easy to get caught in the cycle of accumulation, chasing promotions, buying more, striving for recognition. But lasting fulfillment comes when we channel our energy toward impact rather than image. A small act of encouragement to someone struggling, a gesture of forgiveness when wronged, or the courage to stand up for what is right even when it costs us. These are the seeds of a legacy that endures. Such moments may seem insignificant at the time, but they can become the turning points in another person's journey. When we plant these seeds consistently, we become part of a story larger than our own lives. The beauty of a legacy built on values is that it is not dependent on circumstances. A person from humble beginnings can leave as powerful a mark as someone born into privilege, because legacy is not about resources, it is about choices. History is full of examples of individuals who had little in material wealth, but gave the world ideas, compassion, art, and wisdom that still inspire generations. Their impact was never measured by what they owned, but by who they became and how they lifted others. This truth frees us from the illusion that we need to wait until we have more to start making a difference. Every conversation, every opportunity to serve, every interaction is a chance to leave a mark. Another important aspect of building a lasting legacy is consistency. It is not enough to be kind once or to act with integrity only when it benefits us. A meaningful legacy is shaped over time through repeated, intentional choices. People may forget isolated actions, but they remember the pattern of how we lived. Were we dependable when life was difficult? Did we treat others with dignity when we had the power to do otherwise? Did we stand by our principles when compromise would have been easier? The answer to these questions will form the story others tell about us long after we are gone. Finally, we must recognize that our legacy is not solely about personal reputation. It is about creating something that benefits people we may never meet. Some of the most powerful legacies in history were left by individuals who never saw the full extent of their influence. A scientist whose research leads to life-saving medicine, a writer whose words encourage a reader decades later, a quiet philanthropist whose gift funds education for children. These are the legacies that live on beyond the individual's lifetime. When we live with a long-term vision, we stop asking, "What can I achieve today?" and start asking, "What can I leave behind for tomorrow?" That shift transforms our priorities and reshapes how we use our time, energy, and resources. When all is said and done, our lives will be remembered less for what we possessed and more for how we made others feel, the truth we stood for, and the love we shared. The measure of our success will not be in the monuments we build for ourselves, but in the lives that were strengthened, uplifted, and inspired because we were here. A legacy is not something we stumble upon at the end of our lives. It is something we create every day, one choice at a time. And the most extraordinary truth is that anyone, regardless of background, status, or circumstance, can choose to build one that truly lasts forever. And so, my friends, as we bring this time together to a close, let us remember that the kind of success worth pursuing is the kind that transcends our personal ambitions and outlives our own years on this earth. It is the success that is measured not by applause, not by wealth, not even by the accolades of a world that changes its mind daily, but by the eternal impact we leave on hearts, lives, and generations to come. The trophies will tarnish, the headlines will fade, and even the buildings with our names etched on them will one day crumble. But the seeds of kindness, truth, faith, and integrity we plant will grow into something everlasting. The journey toward this lasting success is not always smooth, nor is it free of sacrifices. It will ask of you more patience than you thought you had, more humility than you are comfortable showing, and more dedication than you believed possible. But those who endure with steadfast hearts will find a reward deeper and richer than anything this temporary world can offer. We are not here to chase shadows. We are here to build legacies. And legacies, my friends, are built day by day in the quiet, consistent choices we make when no one else is watching. Let us walk away today with the courage to define success not by the narrow and fleeting measures of this age, but by the timeless values that will carry us into eternity. Let us not merely strive to be remembered, but to be remembered for the right reasons. And when the final chapters of our lives are written, may they tell of lives well lived, of hearts well loved, and of faith well kept. That, and only that, is success that lasts forever. Thank you.